Yes, hello and welcome to the 2014 World Rally Championship, the third and final day of Rally Monte Carlo. It's the first of 13 rounds in a season which sees the crews taking on all manner of terrain: ice, snow, gravel, tarmac, in all sorts of conditions, not least in this opening round. It really doesn't come much tougher than Monte Carlo. Today's finale sees the teams heading north of the Principality to tackle 4 stages, including 2 passes over the infamous Col de Torini by day and by night. The action began on Thursday in typically treacherous Monte conditions. Mads Osberg, in his first outing in a Citroën, one of the first to be caught out. He at least would escape and continue. One driver who didn't, Thierry Neuville. This was the Belgian's first run in the brand new Hyundai i20. His rally over, not the start he or the team were looking for. And there was more bad news ahead for the new Hyundai team after stage 4. Just after moving into an impressive 3rd place, Danny Sordo ground to a halt on the road section. And with no super rally here in Monte, Hyundai's first event back in the championship was already over. Even world champion Sébastien Ogier, born locally in Gap, was caught on slick tyres in the increasingly snowy conditions. He was off the pace in the opening loop. The big surprise of the first morning, Robert Kubica, the former F1 star, winning the opening 2 stages, but he too would be caught out by the unexpected snow in stage 3, losing a minute and a half. Kubica would finish the opening day 3rd. Chris Meek among those carrying a pair of winter tyres in the boot. Wise move, he bolted them on to help him blast into 2nd place. But the biggest surprise of day 1, local privateer, another to opt for a pair of winter tyres, going into a 38-second lead by the end of the opening day. Day 2 brought wet weather, but crucially, marginally better grip, although Mads Osberg was forced to take evasive action on a particularly slippery section after the flying finish at stage 8. No damage done though, and Mads finished the day 4th overall. As expected, reigning champion Ogier was on a charge from the start, but he was also caught out at the end of stage 8. Ogier far from happy with having to take evasive measures, but he went on to post a series of fastest times, blasting into the lead of the rally. There was drama too for VW teammate Jari-Matti Latvala. He was forced to stop to change a wheel after picking up a puncture. Ford's new boy Elvin Evans caught and passed the Finn, only for Jari-Matti to get going again and catch up with the young Welshman.
You've got to stop the lap, all of us behind you. He's below over 4 right. Stop though. Keep your noise behind you. I've got a message 6.
After some internal deliberations, Elvin politely took to the grass to allow the flying Finn to pass. And as if VW's day wasn't dramatic enough, their 3rd driver, Andreas Mikkelsen, slid off on a patch of snow and ice in Sisteron, commandeering spectators to push his stricken car back onto the stage. But the unluckiest man on the day was former F1 star Robert Kubica. After stunning the rally world with his pace, the pole misjudged the grip levels in stage 9, slamming his car into a bridge. Kubica's hopes literally up in flames. So after all that, Ogier starts the final day of the rally with a healthy 51-second lead over the impressive privateer Brian Bouffier. Chris Meek's consistent drive means he holds a relatively comfortable 3rd. Elvin Evans on his first full season is 10 seconds behind Latvala, although he'll need to have half an eye open for M-Sport teammate Hervenen, who starts today just 29 seconds behind. All the history, all the heritage, the Col de Torini. Over the years, one thing has remained the same. Tyre choice as ever, a crucial factor in the unpredictable, ever-changing conditions. So let's first get some expert insight into what's on offer and why.
When you hit the snow and you have at least 2 snow tyres, you have a bit grip for the traction and for the braking. And then you can be a bit more confident, especially on the downhill brakings, because I tell you, the downhill is the worst when the slick, when you hit the ice and you don't have nothing, and you are just a passenger.
As many have found out over the years, in front of the huge crowds that traditionally gather up on the Col. Right, let's pop down to service now, see what we can find out about those tyre choices with one or two of the crews.
wet tires. I think if there's some snow, it will be between for sure studs and no stud. But if it's raining, it depends if it's cleaning the road or not. Up to now, we haven't made a point. We'll do it in a few minutes.
Yeah, we have been through the weather, and it seems to be quite tricky, especially with the high altitude today. So I think we will see what we choose, but I don't think there will be any slick tires today.
We all know what the big challenge of the Col de Torini and the stage in Sospel. So we also have to do them again tonight in the dark. So 4 very, very difficult stages, and with the weather like this, it can be real tricky. So for sure, nothing is finished, and we really have to concentrate this afternoon.
Well, having decided whether to stick or twist, here's what they face. 4 stages in total, including 2 runs through one of the most famous sections of rally stage in the world, the Col de Torini. The final stage is a power stage. Extra points up for grabs there for those brave enough to push. And reports suggest there's plenty of snow ahead. Another intriguing day's action to come then in the company of John Desborough.
Stage 12, the one every rally driver wants to go at, Torini. They rate this as one of the world's most dangerous roads, but one of the most stunning. It's under all that snow somewhere, I promise you. Sounds like a good combination to me, that. Snow, danger, and to Mikko Hirvonen in 7th place, but right off colour. If he was a racehorse, they'd change his food. Driving pretty much Hirvonen Citroen from last year is Chris Meek, and making a great fist of it in all this snow. He's quick, but safe too. A mature final day from him. So the story goes that Brian Bouffier had to borrow a set of co-driver's notes in order to finish last night's final stage. Well, a new day means he's once again hearing familiar instructions, and let's face it, in all of this, he needs to hear them. Gallic Flair, our rally leader, tackles the first run over this col with a measured professional performance. It's another stage win for Sébastien Ogier, faster than his teammate by 0.3 of a second.
So the world champion takes another step towards clinching his first Rally Monte Carlo victory. Brian Bouffier extends the gap to Chris Meek, and Mikko Hirvonen has closed to within 12 seconds in the battle for 6th with M-Sport teammate Elvin Evans. Next, another big challenge. After the snow of Torini, they face the driving rain of Sospel. It's day 3 of Rally Monte Carlo, the first part of which was based in the French town of Gap, the capital of the Hautes-Alpes region. Gap also happens to be where rally leader and world champion Sébastien Ogier was born. Coincidentally, the town was also voted the most popular major sporting city in France last year. Today, though, the crews are based in Monte Carlo, arguably the most famous motorsport venue in the world. The stages are up in the hills to the north. Time now to rejoin the action with John.
Stage 13 now, and I have to tell you, there was a nasty rumour that we were going to get 50 millimetres of rain today. Looks like we're getting every single drop. So, Ogier the man to catch, and stage 13 is heavy on the handbrake. Elvin Evans and Daniel Barrett. One to the left, and one to the right. The water sprays up from the back of Elvin's Fiesta. The Fiesta, the most powerful car that this man has ever driven. But here, the youngster starts to fear failure just a little bit. And he drops a couple of seconds and loses 6th place to Mikko Hirvonen. The lever of fever, as some of us like to call the handbrake, is an essential bit of kit for getting round these famous hairpin bends, as you can see. Jari-Matti Latvala now lies in 5th place, a long, long way off 4th place.
Jarmosen 6, heti oikein vasen 2, kapea portti, 20 vasen 4, heti oikein 9.
Another hairpin coming up, where it's turn, clutch, pull that handbrake, and up you go. And the thing you know about Jari-Matti is he won't give up the chase. He won't give up, and he also has to hope that this man makes a mistake. Mads Osberg has not had a drive free of mistakes this weekend. He just wishes that all this water was snow. Stays in 4th place, possibly after getting a message from Citroën to take it easy and not risk anything. And the same will apply to Chris Meek. He's in 3rd place. The last time a British driver drove to a place on the podium was all the way back in 2003. Meek has a handshake, you know, like a mole wrench. And he needs to grab some podium finishes on a regular basis this season. And so on to the 2 happiest men in France. There should only be one. Well, he'll be along in a minute, the one that it should be, but such has been Brian Bouffier's delight at this result on the Monte Carlo. He's described the possibility of just being runner-up as just about perfect. Turn, clutch, pull, slide. Lots of sliding on the Monte Carlo 2014. Oh, the last British driver to finish on a podium in the World Rally Championship, Richard Burns in Australia, all the way back in 2003. And why, you might ask, is this man Brian Bouffier so happy to finish in 2nd place? Well, that's because this fella, Sébastien Ogier, is now a massive minute and more in the lead. It's in the bag, surely, now, you'll be saying. Well, there was another Sébastien that used to warn people about the surprises that lay round the corners of these stages in Monte Carlo. That particular Sébastien won this event 7 times. So no, it's not in the bag just yet for Sébastien Ogier.
Bon Milon pour gauche en 40 bref sur un frein 60 mètres gauche en 30 plus 60 mètres gauche en 30 plus 120 mètres.
So Sébastien Ogier flexing his muscles, winning the stage and extending his lead to more than a minute. Chris Meek beating Brian Bouffier, but not by enough to trouble the Frenchman. Fascinating fight at M Sport. The only mover, Mika Hervonen, who takes 6th from his new teammate Elvin Evans. 2 more stages to go, both of which will be in the dark and through the snow. It's typically treacherous Monte next. Approaching the climax of the opening round of the 2014 World Rally Championship. First though, a swift reprise of how it all shaped up in the WRC's leading support series. And after his third position in last year's WRC2, Yuri Protasov got his 2014 campaign off to the perfect start, despite a puncture in stage 7. The Ukrainian went on to take maximum points from the season opener. Another man making a return to the WRC2 this season, Italian Lorenzo Bettelli. He picked up his best result in the series, beating his third place in Sardinia last year, going one step further with a second here in Monte. And the podium completed by Robert Barrable. His consistency rewarded with a well-earned third in the treacherous conditions thrown at all the drivers here in Monte Carlo this weekend. So in the standings, the early pace setter is Yuri Protasov, who finishes 2 minutes ahead of Bertelli. Barrable completing the top 3 a further minute and a half back. Okay, we return now to the main event, and John.
Now, we all knew it was going to be snowy up here, but not this snowy. Like it does, snow like this causes chaos on the popular night run over Turini. It's all too much for the Slovakian Jaroslav Miliharek. That's him up there at the front of that queue. He gets stuck and blocks the route to the top. No one behind can race. The organisers cancel the stage. Elvin Evans' battle with Mikko Hirvonen over 6th place goes to this, the very last stage. Stage 15. And you know what? There's nothing worse than a frustrated rally driver. Apart, that is, from one that's been denied a high-speed tilt at snowy Turini. Jari Matti-Latvala responds to that frustration. Responds and flies into the final stage. And it's the power stage. His extra adrenaline, well-timed. Power stage means bonus points ups for grabs. He's fastest, probably fueled by the pent-up emotions. No snow to block him here. Three more points up for grabs if he's the fastest. All he has to do is match that time in green set by Mikkelsen, and he does.
As things stand, you're going to win this power stage. Just how hard were you pushing?
I tried to push a bit hard, but you know, there was a lot of standing water. I had problems with my lights in the beginning of the stage. All the lights didn't come on. I had only 3 main lights, and the bumper lights were dark, so it was very difficult to start. Then you had a lot of fog, but of course I tried to push a bit, but there was few nasty waters on the road. But overall, I mean, it was a good run.
Chris Meek is running out of words to describe his first event in the factory Citroën. There aren't enough expletives, aren't enough superlatives. But right here, this is the time to dig deep. Just like the thousands of frozen spectators back up at the top of the col. There's Meek's third place to protect, don't forget. His place in history to take. But this is a crazy, crazy day in the history of this event, but it must not compromise Meek's efforts. He and Paul Nagel are glad to have spent the weekend getting into a comfort zone with a minute in hand over their teammate Mads Osberg. But he breaks the timing barrier at the end of the stage and takes what will be the third fastest time of the night.
You are the first British driver to be on the podium in over a decade. How are you feeling?
This rally's just been so crazy. Turini, my God, I never witnessed anything like it. And here, the running water on the stage, I was driving so slowly, but okay, happy to be here, delighted to have third place on my first event with the Citroën factory team. I really have to thank Yves Maton for putting the faith in me, and yeah, if I can finish this rally with no mistakes, I think I can do it in any rally.
It's a shame not to see one of the new Hyundais tackling these final few corners of the event. But there is one of their test drivers. This is him, Brian Bouffier. He was responsible for developing this, their brand new i20, but he didn't get the chance to develop it just a little bit more here. So he got himself a Fiesta. And Hyundai's loss is his gain. This is the drive that puts him on second place on the podium as a privateer. One in the eye for the big factory teams, maybe.
Gauche 120.
Bouffier's stage time not good enough to eclipse Latvala on the power stage.
Your first podium in the WRC. How are you feeling?
You know, it's fantastic. I'm very happy. It was a so tough rally, and you know, finished second in Monte Carlo with a so huge entry list. It's really amazing. You know, I have to thank all the team, my co-drivers, the gravel crew, and they did a fantastic job. They really helped me, and you know, it's a fantastic good day for me.
I can't tell you how much this site means to VW. Last year's new team, and to the man who's driving it, the world champion, Sébastien Ogier.
Gauche 123 vite, ferme 120 bon, ferme 120 bon. Bouffier moins 0,6 et piège, reste à droite, à quoi 200 mètres, droite 140 à fond, à quoi 140 à fond, à quoi.
Ogier achieved many things last year with the German team, but they didn't win this event, the famous Monte Carlo. There's Jari-Matti Latvala waiting nervously at the end of the stage. That time is Sébastien Ogier's for this, the power stage, the one that could bag him the 3 extra points. Latvala's time is at the top. Ogier's the clock ticking at the bottom. And he can't eclipse his teammate on the final stage of the day. He turns in the second fastest stage time. Latvala celebrates. Chris Meek joins in from Citroën. And Ogier will join them later to celebrate his rally win.
So a delighted Jari-Matti Latvala wins the power stage to claim an extra 3 points. Ogier and Meek second and third respectively. A first ever Rally Monte Carlo victory for Ogier.
It's been a tough weekend. We're happy to finish this rally. We got so much fog at the beginning of the stage, and then we took it easy. At the beginning was a bit better, but so much water on the road, so I was not in the mood to try to take risks for these points, and already it's perfect result like that.
Confirmation then of the results. The world champion Sébastien Ogier takes maximum points. Privateer Brian Bouffier an impressive second ahead of a very happy Chris Meek. Same goes for Elfyn Evans. A great opening round for the 2 Brits. The first leaderboard of the season then sees Ogier's victory at extra 2 points, topping the table. Bouffier in second, Chris Meek third. Latvala fourth, courtesy of those 3 bonus points in the power stage, 1 more than Osberg. Then it's Evans and Mikkelsen. WRC2 winner Protosov with a point, completing the top 10. In the manufacturers, VW heads straight to the top, 4 points clear of Citroën, but they'll be delighted with the performance of their new driver lineup. A familiar sight on the podium straight away this season. The man of the moment, Sébastien Ogier. We'll leave him to enjoy the champagne. And thank you for watching what's been an extraordinary opening round to the 2014 season. From John Desborough and myself, Kevin Piper, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time out in the snow of Sweden.